Well, this is day 38 in our spiritual journey as we go through these 40 days leading up to that 41st day of Easter. And today we're looking at the scene of the Last Supper. And I would encourage you to spend some time reading through John chapter 13, because in the midst of all that's going on, it's a busy day. The disciples have prepared a meal and they're getting ready for the Passover. And then they get into this argument right there at the table about who's going to be greatest. Of course, we know Judas' story of the betrayal, but the rest of the disciples were jockeying for position, and then Jesus does something amazing in John 13. He gets up from the table where he should have been treated, I should say, as the greatest of all of those at the table, but instead he becomes the least. He washes the disciples' feet, showing us that he is a servant. Later in John 15, he says these words, and these words were spoken between the Last Supper and the cross, his arrest and the cross that would follow. He simply says this: "No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all things that I heard from my Father I have made known to you." Think about those two words for just a moment. Jesus is a servant, and Jesus says he is a friend. Both of those things were to put the emphasis on the relationship. Make sure this time of year, as we prepare for a special celebration of the Lord's resurrection on Easter Sunday, that it doesn't just become something we do in our schedule. It's not just ritual and routine. It's all about relationship. It's about knowing Christ as our Savior, about following his example of servanthood, about him being a true friend in our life, that we talk to him and we listen to his voice. It's not about ritual. It's not about routine. It's all about relationship.